Happy Sunday, lovely people. Welcome to the Jaden Show. I'm Jaden Cornelious, your host, and I've got an amazing show for you today. I'm going over to Miami, Florida, US of A, to meet singer, songwriter, musician, and bloody amazing guy, Joora. We're going to be chatting to him in a minute. But you know what? This song blew me away when I first saw it. Phenomenal track. It's called Denial. This is the very talented, the very sexy Joora. Are you ready? I know I cannot wait to introduce him to you, but before we do that, we've got to pop for a little Jaden Show commercial break. Okay, it's that time when I'm going to now introduce you to the amazing singer, songwriter, producer, musician, Joe Ora. Please put your hands together and welcome him to the Jaden Show, this week's special guest. Joe Ora. I mean, metal rock god, quite frankly. I've just been listening to your to Denial on YouTube, which we actually also saw before this interview. Mate, I don't have many words really. I'm quite blown away by
it. Thanks, man.
No,
Dude, thank you. That means a lot, man.
No, pleasure. Really, and it's quite interesting. One of the comments was you have to wait normally 2 years of shit before you get a tune like that, and you come straight out with that, and I was just like, yeah, that boy really knocked it out of the park on his first video on YouTube,
man,
and the video fucking amazing, dark, sexy, just real, it's gritty, man. The whole thing was raw. Super cool.
That was a really fun project, man. I did that with my friend Pro, the artist. He's also a musician. I make music with him from time to time. And that was our first actual music video that we actually tried to shoot. And the first, I wouldn't say it's the first metal song I tried to write. I wrote that with another friend of mine. His name's The Ghost Tower.
Okay.
And I my realm more is rock, sometimes pop rock, or singer songwriter. I do love to write metal stuff like that. We've written a few records in the past together. But that was the first hoorah, and
it was huge. It was huge, mate. I was just because I obviously we chatted a little bit before. I was brought up on Olivia Newton-John and ABBA, so way the complete other end of the side of the spectrum. My brother, I was blessed. My brother was Guns N' Roses and Nirvana, and I was super trooper beams and gun. So we never had a real bonding with. When we were younger, but I kind of, as I got older, we talked about it before, Epica, Evanescence, because they're kind of the classical kind of rock and metal crossover.
Yeah.
And then obviously Disturbed, because what a voice, man, just
monstrous vocalist right there, man. I have major respect for him.
Oh, just intense. And it wouldn't be a genre that it wouldn't be my go-to genre, but when I listened, I was I've got to again, mate. I've got to that was just a little bit of a hit for me. I really, really felt that. So, but I want to take you back to kind of, to when you were very young in your kind of your family environment, your school environment. What was going on for you musically? What was going on around you? What was your listening at that time?
Man, to be honest, so my mom threw me into piano lessons when I was 3.
Sweet.
And I kind of just took lessons for a long time, and I never really I knew I was a creative. I just didn't know how to be creative, and I didn't know it was going to be through music, and the entire time it was. So I played music my whole life, or at least took lessons with piano and stuff, and then eventually I got into some singing, and then I saw a lot of my friends starting to get into rock bands, and I'm like, that looks awesome. I need to try that. That for some reason that shit looks like it's so freeing.
Yeah.
And I need to get a taste of it. I didn't care how, if it was singing, just being in the same room, playing guitar, learning how to play guitar or drums or something. I just wanted to know what that was like, man. So that was in my early teens, and I ended up learning how to play some guitar. Then my friend introduced me to bass. And, I already knew piano, and I started already taking some vocal lessons and stuff. So I just was just trying to gather as much.
Yeah,
yeah, man. And then eventually I got lucky enough to start a couple of little rock projects. And then eventually the one that stuck was with one of my best friends that's till this day. His name's Mango. And he actually ended up teaching me how to find that inner self and pull that creative juice out of me,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't know how I was ever capable of writing lyrics or creating melodies like that. And he would, I really owe it to him, man, because he sat down with me for hours on end, and days and days and days, and just we would sit there and write poetry, write more poetry, read out of the dictionary, and just hammer it in me until he just like found it, bro, and he just like ripped it out of me. And after that, I joined a couple of different rock projects, had a little bit of success here and there, and did some touring, and eventually I fell into audio engineering, like doing some studio work and live work, and that's what I do now as well. Like as well, I do live audio engineering as well.
You're like a one-stop shop, to be fair. Like you do everything.
I try. At least I try.
Were you listening to rock like as a little kid? I mean, were your family into rock, like, or you know, what were they into? What was going on around you musically? Like, what was your foundations?
My stepdad, he's actually the guy that introduced me into the rock world, and I never really cared for rock. I was more of like just into the pop, into hip hop, and things like that from the 90s, and he came along, introduced, and he was like, "Hold on a second, cool. We got to show you something." And I was like, "Okay." And he slapped on, you know, some Green Day, the Dookie album, Nirvana, some Foo Fighters. I was like, "What is this?" And then Linkin Park, you know, eventually a couple years later comes out, and you know that's when they start doing all the infusion genres. And from there, man, I was like, "This is Black World."
What would you have said? Like, obviously, because now you're kind of like a revered kind of rock musician, singer, artist. What would you have said would have been like the most, not necessarily embarrassing, but you know, like the most kind of extreme to the other side that you wouldn't kind of normally want to share? Like, well, actually, I had Britney's first album. You know, that kind of like, what do you? We're going to be good friends.
I do.
But what would have been like the most kind of away from that would you like have listened to?
The most embarrassing, bro.
Not necessarily embarrassing.
I'm embarrassed because
it's all good music, right?
Yeah, man. I love me some Spice Girls, some Britney. I can go as poppy as you want me to go, man.
Really? Okay, I've got complete respect for you now, more than I had
thanks,
before.
Man.
Although I would love to see you do like, I don't know, like some kind of thrash metal version of "Hit Me Baby One More Time." I mean, that would be pretty cool, mate.
That would be awesome. You ever seen the Jack Black cover of that song?
Do you know what? It does ring a bell, and I can't remember if I have, but it really does ring a bell. I've got a little list of things that I'm going to be researching when we finish this chat. That is also going to be on my list now. So these kind of bands, like, were you going in as a vocalist, or was you going as a guitarist or the bassist? I mean, like, what was you doing in these bands? You know, or was it everything? Have you always been doing everything?
Initially I went in as a bass player, and I didn't even know I was capable. Like I said, I was capable of doing the things I would be eventually capable of doing, like now. So my first couple projects was as a bass player. Once my friend, and you know, he told me, "Hey, I need some backup vocals. Please tell me you sing." I was like, I think I could hold a tune, man. I've been taking some lessons, you know. So he had me try it out, and ever since then, like, it's just something that I fell in love with, and he saw something in me, and he helped, like I said, pull that out of me, more of the musicianship out of me and the artistry, and from there I realized, okay, I love writing, sitting down and writing the music, but also more than anything, vocals and melodies and lyrics, and just being able to like just tell a story, if you will, you know, more just like, because I that's one thing I love about like writing instrumentals. It's still part of the story, but like once I found, like, he helped unlock that thing inside me where you could write the music, and then that, like, you translate it into words. Yeah, man, that set me free, man.
No, I really get that. I found that I used to, obviously I was a pop guy in the 90s, and that was all very kind of, we were writing. I mean, our singles were written by the same guy, Elliot Kennedy, that was doing all of Take That and Spice Girls at the time. So you could sing my first single, you can sing over one of the Spice Girls track. I mean, it was pretty much the same vibe, but great pop music. I mean, this guy is phenomenal writer, producer, right? But it was only when I kind of got a bit older, started doing classical music, and I was singing songs that I had no fucking clue what I was singing about. And that was actually really freeing, because again, it was the music that dictated the emotion that I felt and I portrayed. So you were like, even though it was like a top violin line that was just like off the scale, intensely beautiful, like that almost became, for me, the lyric that I would follow. I don't know how to explain it, but it was kind of like, so it wasn't just the words that I was putting into the music, because a lot of them were like, especially as a classical singer, a lot of them were like it's Italian and that. So I didn't have a clue what I was singing. In fact, I remember singing in a theatre once, completely blanking halfway through, and I just sung one whole verse in made up Italian sounding words. And someone said that Italian song you sung was amazing. I was like, you have no sweat patches there. I was just weeing myself. But yeah, but it was still the music, it was still the interpretation of the other instruments, excluding the voice, that kind of made the story of that song. So I kind of get what you mean by
it's universal language, man.
Completely.
As long as one of my best friend and I talk all the time, and it's especially what I find with like music now and like Midwestern pop and or pop music even, that I find interesting and awesome is that it's no longer it's always been about the lyrics, right, and melodies, but now it doesn't have to be so much about the lyrics. Like, look at that what's that song? I love it. It was in the Spider-Man song, with the Miles Morales, Sunflower with Post Malone.
Oh yes, yeah.
Right, beautiful song, right? I have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, but it sounds awesome and it feels really good and it makes sense intuitively, So, but you look at the lyrics and you're like, I'm a little lost, man. I don't really get it, but do I have to? Who cares?
There's a couple of Coldplay songs like that for me.
Yeah, there you go.
Especially like living here, a lot of Mexicans love Coldplay, and they're like, okay. So what does and it's all yellow mean? I'm like, I haven't like really. I read the lyrics and I'm still none the wiser. I'm just like, no, it's just. But no, I get that. So I'm not sure if it's a great thing, because like you're not just being kind of I'm just listening to what I hear, and hey baby, how was I supposed to know? That's how my interpretation of this song is going to be. It's going to be like a relationship that's a bit screwed up, blah blah blah. But anyway, whereas now, like you said, you can have kind of real random artistic lyrics that actually don't really mean anything unless you've probably written it.
Yeah,
but you're still open to be able to interpret the song in a. Well, I guess it's all kind of like, it's a bit like binary, isn't it? Really, it kind of a computing system. It touches kind of nerves and sentiments and memories, and as it goes in. So yeah, it's amazing. Did you, obviously, you've done your pop kind of season as well of listening. Do you still go back to that as a rock artist, or in your downtime now, do you sit back and do you just listen to the people that inspire you, listen to people that you want to be more like, listen to the music that's going to inspire your next track, or do you sit back and bang on Enya? How does it roll?
Listen, bro, I'll play some of those sweet jams anytime. Can't threaten me with a good time with a little Enya.
Hey, I was thinking about her today. She's got like the best life, multi-million-pound artist, never done a live event.
What?
Ever. She lives in a castle in Ireland, and she's never done a live concert. I'm like, because I'm getting on now, so it's just like, oh my god, to drive and set up and sing. I would love just to be in that studio and write and record, create great videos, make it very visual, and not actually have to get in front of someone eating their pizza again. It would be amazing for me. I think Enya's really sussed it out, mate. She's never done one, apparently.
Wow.
But she lives in a castle on the royalties of her music.
Oh,
that's right up my gothic alley, that is, to be fair.
Oh, yeah. That would scratch that gothic itch real hard for me. Hell yeah, man. That'd be so cool. Even if I could do it for just a couple of days, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, really, eh? Really?
Yeah, man. So the music I listen to, I don't think I listen to it with intention to get inspired to write my next thing. If it happens, it just happens to be that, I found the music and I'm like, damn, it's just consuming my mind or my being, and I it's something that becomes effortless,
right.
And then I try to incorporate that with my sound, but it's not something that I always set out. It's dude, like for music, for me, I guess like for most people, when I'm looking for something, I'm just looking for something that resonates, and it
Okay.
doesn't, you know, and almost like if it's like I'm just communicating, like that's my moment of time to communicate with like God, if you will, or the
Right.
universe.
Yeah. To connect.
And yeah, man. So like whenever I hear a song, if it's just the sweet buttery tunes that's capturing my attention
Mhm.
and the vibe, or whether maybe it's some of the lyrics and melodies that got me, I just feel like there's always a message somehow, even if it's nothing that, like, it could be like the happiest song about like
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
on your way to go eat cheesecake or something,
Yeah.
or like,
That's my
or
kind of
some,
song. You understand?
yeah, we're going some metal ass song where you can barely understand the vocals because it's all beautiful screaming.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. If I'm able to like to bring that into the music I write, amazing. That's just
Right.
how I see it. Yeah. And even when like I make music, I don't really go in with like a plan of attack.
Okay.
You know, it's more like um
Let's open up and see what comes
yeah,
out, kind of thing.
yeah. I open up the antennas and let's see what I pick up, like what I pick up, and I hone in on that and go, and start
So
writing.
if you had to fit like Joe Ora into a category, could you? I mean, like back in the day in the 90s, when you were signed to record labels, you had this format, you had this whole kind of thing that
Yeah.
you had to work to like with and towards. And God forbid if you want to put an instrument that might not be relevant in this genre of music or this vibe that you've created. Would you say that Joe Ora is a rock, metal, pop musician? Or, I mean, if you felt the need to bust out a spiritual Enya track tomorrow,
100%.
you would be part of that. I mean, Joe Ora is the brand, and whatever comes out of that stable,
Yeah,
it's your magic.
100%.
Is there anything that you do? No, anything that you can't do that you wish you can? I mean, your vocal, mate, is really fucking incredible. Like
Oh,
incredible. Do
thanks,
you
man.
kind of wish that you could like bust out a "Run to You" by Whitney Houston, or could you do that?
I don't know if I could do it like Big Whitney,
No,
but I'll
yeah.
definitely try. I'll definitely
Okay.
try. But yeah, doing some cool stuff like that, like yeah, maybe I would love to improve in the areas of my runs, and maybe like more like how R&B artists do it,
Okay.
and like, or gospel singers, like, man, like, and that's something I've been
Yeah.
practicing a lot more of. And just, it's kind of like, when like you're like a guitar player that's a rhythm guitar player, but you really
Yeah.
want to, like, you want to learn how to shred a little bit, but you're
Yeah.
like, I don't have to be the best soloist, but if I
But
just
just to get that
a
flag, yeah.
little bit, I'll be happy with that. A little flare up. So that's definitely something I've been working towards a lot more these days.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah. But
Do
just
you?
probably, hey, dude, give me some pointers, please,
Well, do you
bro.
know what? I don't know. I mean, like, I was never a Jaden fan, ever, ever, ever.
Okay.
And I never wanted to sound how I sounded ever because I really, like I said, I was a
Same.
baritone, and there was nothing decent that was baritone. Like it was all down here, and so that's why I kind of my voice lent itself to classical, musical, and opera because I was deep,
Yeah.
and could sing like this. But I
Oh,
wanted
hell
to, I
yeah.
wanted to be with, I wanted to be Whitney Houston or Olivia Newton-John. That was it. And it was only kind of when I stopped, I stopped trying. I don't know how to explain it. Like not replicate others because I couldn't because I was completely different. But when I stopped wanting so much to be like someone else, I started playing with what I had a bit more. Like I was thrown out of choir because I was tone deaf, couldn't hit a note, really, really awful singer.
Really?
How I ever became a singer, I have no idea. And how I'm still a singer 34 years later, I have no idea.
Dude, that's
But,
amazing.
but I couldn't, I had no pitch, no harmony, no vibrato, no nothing, just very bland voice. And I got in because I'm old. I got into the Carpenters.
Oh,
And
okay.
Karen Carpenter, she still is one of my favourite singers because
Oh
her
my God.
voice just ebbed and flowed like a river for me. It was just like, and she had this really beautiful, warm vibrato that just kind of, even in the happy songs, you kind of still wanted to slit your wrist. I mean, she just had this voice that was just pure emotion, mate. And she was a fucking amazing drummer as well. But, she was just, and I kind of got into her. I always said that she was my singing teacher because I just became almost obsessed with the
Yeah.
Carpenters, like back in when it was in the 80s for me, I guess. and that's how I kind of learnt to sing. But now I just sing like Jaden, and I can do a few little trills, and I can do a few little like improvs. And some days I can't feel it at all and won't do any. It really depends on confidence levels, feedback from the audience, whether I've had enough sleep. Like, it's not just like I can't do a Beyonce and go like do all this kind of like trilling.
Dude.
It really, if I'm feeling it in that moment and it comes, and it does more often than not now. I'm very lucky, like, but I'm also, you know, working my voice now more than what I've ever done in my life, I think. But yeah, I probably could never, I couldn't even tell you why or when or how it comes or anything. I can bust the Mean Carpenters, and I can bust an all right kind of like Whitney and Tina and stuff like that. But I probably couldn't teach anyone because I wouldn't have a clue, because it might not happen the next show.
That's part of the adventure, man.
It's like channeling, right?
Yeah, that's 100% what that is.
If I get lost and all of a sudden it's flowing and that's wonderful. But, you know, I would love to sing like you. I mean, like, I would love to do a track that was that kind of like real kind of, you know, I've spent all my life being the England's male equivalent of Olivia Newton-John. I would like to be a bit grittier in my old age, but it's probably not going to happen.
Man, I'm down, dude. We'll definitely collaborate on the track. We could do that. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, okay. You might have to teach. You probably got more chance teaching me than I have teaching you, mate. I'm just.
Oh man,
we'll
teach each other, man. There's a lot.
Okay,
we'll teach each other for sure.
People at home, you've heard this part of the conversation. Write it down in your little notebook. Okay. By this time next year, we would have done a collab. Just so you know that.
Yes, I can't wait, man. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna get you fucking singing Xanadu, mate. That's what you think you're gonna get me doing, Rob.
Hey, man, let's go. I'm all for it.
So this whole, like, obviously you're creating your Joe Aura brand.
Mm-hmm.
Really, 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 really big song to start your brand off with.
Thanks,
like, sometimes having that 2 years of shit before a really big song is kind of nice, because like you've got to go here now. Like, you can't do this anymore. You've set yourself like a real kind of fucking working level now, mate.
That's an honor, man. Thanks for that compliment. That means a lot, man.
Well,
really,
but it's a true, and it's not just me. You know, on your comments on that video as well. It literally is like, you know, you can't really afford to slack off now, mate. I can put some shit up there, so one day I'm going to sound amazing, and you sound amazing from the get go. So where do you go from this? Like, what are you doing now?
So this is what happened. I went through a period where I wanted, like, I tried taking a break from like doing music, writing music, and well, like trying to like want to put it out into the world and stuff like that. Possibly because I was also like at that time in my life, things were very turbulent. Work was very, like, I wouldn't say scarce, but kind of scarce and just very unpredictable.
Yeah.
So like making music was just like, I'll come home and I'll do a little something and I'll just keep doing this strictly and solely for myself.
Right.
And that's it, you know. But there came to a point where a few hardships happened, and you know, I lost my job. Like paying the bills was hard enough, and I was getting eviction notices. My AC was broken down, and down here in Florida, bro, that is the last thing.
Mate, I live in Cancun.
So you know,
yeah, mate. That's why I don't live there anymore. Because
it's life, bro.
I'm an artist, so I can't afford 24/7 air climate.
No, man.
Clima.
Man.
Air conditioning. Yeah, I couldn't afford that. I'm a singer, mate.
Yeah, man.
So
and as a vocalist, you understand.
So it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah, man. And so I had to make a decision on, all right, do I want to continue living like this? Whatever. It's pros and cons, obviously, or is there another way I want to do things? So until I could find that other way, I said, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. With my friend Pro, the artist, he kind of was in a similar situation as well. Mm-hmm. So I was like, listen, man, let's just do what resonates within us and what we feel will make us complete us and where we're at most peace.
Yeah.
And that's obviously been through the arts. It was through music, and with him, it was a lot of the visuals as well as music. So I said, man, let's while we're in the shits, let's record, and just we'll focus and channel all our energy into that until maybe we somehow see the light at the end of the tunnel and we're no longer in this position in life. And that's what we decided to do for a while, for a long time. I want to say I decided to do that. We decided to do that for almost like a good 6 months, 7 months, man. And then we got lucky. We got some jobs that have been treating us really well, and gave us the opportunity to breathe again. And even from then, that took a year. Where I was, I'd have this conversation with my best friend, and he would tell me, well, now that I actually had denial done by then with my friends.
Okay.
And he was like, "Are you going to push this out?" And I said, I will eventually. He's like, "Well, dude, come on, like, when?" I'm like, I kind of just want to be building in silence, man.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make enough music, or at least feel like I've had enough practice making whatever I want when, at will, and learning the equipment, engineering in the studio, mixing, mastering, learning all about the plugins and how to like just do everything right, and just study how everyone's written music. And I don't know, man. I think it was in July when this past July when my friend Pro, the artist, and I we wrote a song called Fuber, and that's something just clicked, man. And we presented that to our other friend, the Tower Ghost, and we all like collaborated and finished it. And
Sweet.
That's when we realized that I think we're ready. This is now a product that we understand the mechanics of somewhat. Let's start building this machine, man. And we started throwing our music out there. Started with Denial, and that did really well. And so we're like, okay, let's ride this wave, man. Boom, Fuber came out right after, and then another song, and then I think we came out with Further Away, and then we worked on some of the music for Pro, the artist, and we focused on him for a little while, and then we kind of like juggled back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah, and then this is where we are now.
That's amazing. Are you still having to do like a regular job in order to make ends meet, or are you now literally your music is kind of?
Yeah, man, and I'm lucky because it's all in music. I work for a performing arts theater.
Oh, sweet.
As one of their technical manager, and then on the weekends I'll run sound for particularly one band, but also for like different like concerts and stuff like that.
Amazing, mate.
Yeah, so I never lost sight of staying in the music realm.
Yeah, so you don't have to go and wait tables for like.
Yeah, and trust me, I very much did that for a long time.
Yeah, we all have.
Worked for a tree company for years, man, and yeah.
Wow, how amazing now that you've constantly got that kind of flow of energy in the right spot.
It's beautiful, man. And I think that's what we all want to strive for, right? Like we just want
really. I think like, as you get older as well, things kind of, like when I was younger, I really wanted to be famous, but I kind of think that was more my insecurity and needing to be accepted talking than it actually, I didn't really understand the meaning of what I wanted. And now I just want I want my animals to be looked after, food, healthcare. I want to eat. I don't have to think, shit, is it just tortillas and beans this week? Because they've eaten Sam Club and Costco shit. And now I'm skint because, so yeah, that would be quite nice. I think that's what we all want, right? Like a life that's kind of free of worry and that we can be. I was talking to, actually it's come up in the last couple of shows as well. Like I think, the artists, the creatives are one of the most overlooked. I mean, on some level, community. We have the ability to change people's moods. We have the people to, the bit to get someone on a table dancing without holding their bloody skirt up, and we can make someone really deal with grief. We can bring magic. We're time travelers. I sang a song last night in Mexico. Was a Olivia Newton-John song, but anyway, so I sung it. This young, like probably in his late 20s, Mexican lad turned around. It was "If Not For You," right? I just remember it from the 70s, but anyway, and he was like, "Oh, I know this song," and like I was just like, I'm in the middle of the mountains in Mexico singing "If Not For You," and this guy, this 20-year-old built lad, is singing every single word. And I was like, I've not heard that since my mum played it. Like, this is amazing. Who's the singer? Who's the artist? I'm like, right, I would never in a million years expect anyone to kind of, especially like a young kind of like, you know, beefy 30-odd-year-old man singing that, you know, who's but it was like, oh, who's the artist? I'm like, mate, she's not even here, bless her, anymore, but you know, like, she's a 70s girl. You know what I mean? So it was just really cool. Like, music is so powerful, you know, it's just on every level, and yet people still say, well, you can come and play at my venue, but you got to do it for free because you need the exposure, right?
Oh, sorry, man.
You know, but if you're a carpenter or a
random exposures,
well, yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky. It's not my case anymore, but they're still very common. Like, you know, but if you were a plumber or a carpenter, you would probably earn in a mint, mate, on a craft that you can pretty much learn in school. You can learn how to play piano, how to play bass, how to sing, how to play drums, etc. But to really feel that is not something you can learn. It's something that is, you know, it's like I said, it's channeled, it's part of your connection. And I just think that is so overlooked.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I think you can feel it in, you know, when people put their music out there. You know, some that's why I feel like maybe sometimes we just feel like a song is bland, you know. And you could tell the difference when someone sings a simple 4-chord song, some simple lyrics and the melody, but dude, the way they sing and play that thing, and like you said, it time travel, feel things. You can almost smell things from the past if you wanted to. Like, oh yeah, man.
Coming from like being a London boy and moving to Mexico, I left everything: my climate, my language, my community, my memories, my friends, like everything. Like there was nothing in my new place that was even remotely reminiscent of my first 40-odd years of my life, right? And then, and so the only thing I had left was the songs that I remember as a kid. That I remembered, I used to sit on my bed and listen to that one with my nan. So, and God, me and my dad used to play that in his car on the way to this club on a Saturday. And that was the only things that kind of kept me hanging on, you know, where everything else had been stripped away. Like everything had been stripped away. And it was a really challenge for me, a little bit autistic. It was a very challenging time because I didn't recognize anything anymore. But listening to the songs, not only the ones that I liked, the ones that I sung, but the ones that I grew up to, like you said, you know, you remember that exact moment when your dad's just flicked over the radio, and you know, my dad had been dead 20, 30 years at this point, you know, but in that moment, in that precise moment, you are in that car, the smell of the leather on a Rover 3.5 coupe seat.
Oh, nice.
You know, it's just kind of, you know, it's just in that magic. It's pure magic, mate.
It really is, man.
So, but
it really is. I love that.
Yeah, it's we're very, very blessed, but so very underrated.
Yeah, as it's always been, right?
Yeah, and maybe not forever. Maybe the magicians are coming back at some point. We were revered. We were revered hundreds of years ago. You know, like
that's
playing
true.
for royalty, and we were the connection and the conduits of energy because we, you know, no one would have said to Beethoven, if you could just play down the local cafe, but you know, we'll give you a cup of tea and a cake because it is exposure, dude.
Yeah.
None of that shit.
I think it's crazy, man, how like at least for the last while it's been that way, but with like artists, you know, that we know that, right? We know that like we're the first ones to pay the price, you know, budget cuts or whatever, or just the lack of support, or just the underappreciation. But somehow, like, I feel, I don't know, this is just me, like in my like woohoo-ness, but
it's your show, so you can say what you want.
I just feel like, you know, maybe we're able, I don't know, we travel to a place to be tested and to see what we're really made of. And
no, I think that completely.
And if we're going to stick with it, you know, if we're really about what we say or what we can do. And I think this is that place, you know. and maybe hopefully in the next phase of what happens after this life, it's
Which
like,
has
well,
just started happening. To be
yeah,
fair. Like, things are going
yeah.
down. That
Since
Tower
you
of
stood
Babel
through
is
it, you
falling.
passed the test, man. Here we go. This is what it's really about. Oh, sweet, you know.
I think that I think I will be an overnight success after 34, 35 years of doing what I
Oh,
do.
yeah, man. I don't think that's at all crazy to think at all.
No, and I
No,
think
man.
maybe success will come in ways we never planned. I remember
Let's.
doing like this talent show back in the day, which I never put myself for. I was scouted to do it,
Okay.
and so I went on like literally was straight into the live shows. It was no auditions or nothing, and obviously that they want good TV and it's a whole circus and all very quite negative on very many levels actually. And so after 3 seconds of opening my mouth, they all buzzed me and said that I was the worst singer they've ever seen, pretty much. This didn't come out on TV. This was for me to break, right?
Right.
And they said, and then one of them, who's really famous, pretty much said, it's no doubt you can sing, Jaden, but you're never going to be famous. You're never going to be successful or famous. And I said, well, I might not have a swimming pool in my garden. I said, but I'm traveling all over the world singing for charities, to raise money for someone's chemo or to raise money for someone's AIDS treatment or to help an orphanage or something. So I might not be like minted and have a bit of money, but I think like I've got success because everything I do with my music has meaning. And isn't that what it's all about, right? And
100%.
no one said anything. I was just taken off the stage at this point. But
Cool, right?
it was kind of, yeah, but it was kind of like, I think I think it's really great. You can be an overnight success. You can be completely discovered, completely great and completely wonderful and not understand any of it, right? And then be broken when it all comes down because effectively you're doing it for somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you can do what, you're doing. What I've done is actually, you've really put the work in and the effort. And now not only do you know your craft, but you feel your craft. Like, you know exactly what that's all about. So I think you can't help but change your reward structure. Like, it might not be about driving around in Lamborghini, but there might be someone's life you've completely changed around. Like, I was singing,
man.
and I've said this on a show before as well. I was singing in this shopping centre back in the day in London, and I was just really bored of singing in shopping centres because people just want to go to the bloody cheap clothing store. They don't give a shit whether I'm busting out a good tune. And I always get the crazies. Like, I just seem to have a crazy magnet about me, right? So all at the end, there's always got the drunk or the just someone that's not, that is going to be difficult to get rid of when you want to pack it up and go home, right? And this woman was kind of just hanging around at the front of the stage. I went, "You all right, lovely?" She's like, "Yeah, thank you." And I was like, "Okay." Putting my stuff away, and she's still there. I'm like, "Can I help? Do you want anything? Do you want like a, my brain is going, oh, I just want to go home, man. This is just doing my nutting, right?" And she was like, no, it's fine. I'm like, "Okay. Well, if you need anything, give me a shout. I'm just gonna keep packing." And then I'd finished packing, was just about to take my stuff upstairs, and she said, "Oh, can I have a minute of your time?" I'm like, "Oh, here we go." Right. So this is my complete intolerant Jaden back in the day. And she said, and I can't remember the, but pretty much says she hadn't been out of the house for 15 or so years, complete, like not prescribed, like, agoraphobic. She's had therapy, blah, blah, blah. She's not been out of the house for years. But she's had shitloads of therapy. This was her first day that she attempted to go out of the house. She opened the front door, stood outside the front door and couldn't do it, but heard someone in the distance singing "Dance with My Father" by Luther Vandross. And that was a song that was her dad's song. And I think kind of like it coincided that her dad's death sent her into this kind of agoraphobic state as well, right? But she heard this song and she said, "I had to go and see where it was coming from. And this is the first time I've been out of my house in whatever 15, 20 years." Well, I'd gone from thinking, "Oh my God, this is going to be a fucking another Craig," to having like tears running down.
Damn, that's beautiful, man.
And I was just like, "Rah, man, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing." Like, it's not just about getting a single in, in a chart or, getting a real good, spread in a magazine or something like that. It really is about changing people's lives,
And I think that's so beautiful, man. Like, first of all, my friend told me this, and I'll like never forget this, and it's just like made things so much more comforting for me. That he told me, "Dude, just remember, there's no age limit on success."
True that.
And if you want to be rich one day, that there's no reason why you can't be.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be famous one day, there's no reason why you can't be. Especially nowadays, you know, that as things have gotten a little bit more challenging in some ways with the, you know, technology and social media. However, it's alleviated a lot of things as well. So
Yeah.
now it's opened up a path, multiple pathways where, whereas before, like in the 90s, early 2000s, right, like there's more like lanes that you had to stay
Oh,
in.
completely. Yeah.
But now it's fuck that structure. People do not care about that. And in fact, more you know, mixed things, genres, or just it's just more open-minded in so many ways and accepted, and people are craving that, you know, and
Yeah. They want
authenticity and
something different. Yeah. And authenticity.
yeah, man. So and you know, so I think, you know, dude, I don't think it's crazy to think that at all. You keep doing that, man, because and whatever success is to you is your own version of success, you
That's
know,
what I
like
mean, yeah, your story
you know,
changes. You know,
yeah,
what you want in
man.
your 20s is not going to be the same as what you want in your 50s.
No, man, not at all, man. And you know, in fact, I've been like when before I started pushing out my music as Joe Aura, I had to sit down and talk to my friend a lot about that, and he would ask me, "What, Jonah? What is your that's my name. What's your definition of success?" And I told him, you know, well, I would like to be doing this and this and that. He goes, yeah, but let's just say it doesn't happen. I was like, okay. Well, I'm gonna be doing this regardless. Even if I was the last person standing on the
Yeah.
planet, I'm still gonna. And I have my laptop and my gear. I'm gonna write music, and this is what I'm doing. This is I can't help it. It's what I am,
Yeah.
or or a part of what I am. And I told him, you know, well, if nothing even comes out of this, I'm gonna keep doing this. This is what I am, and that's success to me. My success is just to put the music out into the world, and that's it. And maybe no one hears it. Maybe one person hears it that I've never met, and they love it, and that's enough for me. You know, I that is more than enough. And you know, I just that's how I just started presenting my music, and when we put it out there, um, it's almost like going in with no intentions really, like just a clean slate, man. And
Absolutely.
you know, and then whatever happens it comes in, wow, it's you're just
It's
constantly going to be
beautiful.
shocked, man. And it's so cool that you said that story about that lady, man, because what an awesome feeling, right, to be like a part of somebody's life that you had no idea that you were so impactful in, right?
And
Like
one of the biggest
what an
lessons
honor,
that
man.
really kicked my victim conscious egotistical ass as well. Like, this means nothing to no one. I don't know why I'm doing it. And no one likes me. Everyone just wants to get their bloody 2 t-shirts for one deal. And, you know, and it really, like I said, and I mean, like, I started singing. I was in the church back in the day, you know, when I was kind of finding my spirituality in a Pentecostal church. It was really good gospel music, like great music. And I became a 16-year-old minister of music. So I literally would travel all over the UK singing in different churches, and I would spend time. And it, you know, like at the time, it was my faith. It definitely isn't now. I'm definitely more kind of Viking pagan witch now, but completely opposite. But back in the day, I used to sit and for a few days before I'd sing on that Sunday, whatever church, I would literally sit and meditate, pray, and ask God, the universe, what song do I do? Like, what song is going to have the message I need to give this Sunday? You know, and it would be completely out of my hands, and I would feel the song that I needed with the message that I needed to give on that Sunday. And you could guarantee that you'll sing something, and some people say, like, I've just finished my last round of chemo, and you have no idea the strength that song's given me. Or, you know, my mother died last Wednesday, and the words of that song has been the most comforting. It could not have come at the more perfect time for me to listen to that. And as an adult, you know, when I backslid and became, you know, Jaden in all its glory, I really wanted to start doing music that wasn't necessarily of a religious leaning, but there still was able. I mean, I love doing the pop shit as well. Like, I love doing the conveyor belt. Let's do PW, you know, Stockcake and Waterman kind of vibe, and I want to dance and be stupid, and you know, and you know, but at the same time, I also want to be able to deliver something.
Mm-hmm.
People go, oh, fuck, I needed to hear that. Like, I needed that message, man.
Wow.
So I wanted to do gospel that wasn't religious based. You know,
I love that.
on my last studio album, which was, oh my god, quite a few years ago now, it was called Hold On To Me, and literally it was about positive meaning within the songs that I did, because, you know, it has the power to completely to completely change someone's life. It's
It
magical.
does, man. And it's cool because it sounds like almost like not selfishly you did it for yourself, and in turn you're doing this the world a service by doing that.
Well,
It's like you're,
that's the
you're
flow of
allowing.
energy anyway, isn't it? It
Yeah,
should
man.
be.
You have to be. It has to be for self, and then I guess in turn, that's how you become relatable. It's raw, it's real,
Yeah,
and
completely.
like we all can sense that. And it's that energy that's going to flow somehow and find its way to another connecting point. And
Yeah.
that's when you experience those wonderful experiences, man, with those people, dude.
And what you said is correct about, when I've judged a few talent competitions like over the last few years, and people say, what advice would you give anyone, that wants to be in the music industry? And it's exactly what you've just said. For me, have zero expectations. Do what you want for the love of doing it. That is
Yeah,
it. Because
that's it.
expectations breed disappointments, and then you have fucked your craft.
Mm-hmm. Hundred
Just do
percent.
it for the love of and for the gratitude that you are able to do it. Not everyone's going to like you.
No,
Some people are going to think you're
no.
the worst, most boring, bland singer. But it's not something that I would have ever chosen to do. This is
No.
the weirdest ass thing. I was always a very shy kid, like being on stage in front of people and being so raw and vulnerable in front of a crowd of people judging you, which they do 9 times out of 10, would
Yeah.
not have been the career choice, like that I would have made from a logical Jaden mind. But
Huh.
like you said, sometimes you can't help. It is what you are. It is what it is. You cannot not be. Like you said, when shit goes to bloody shovel, as long as you got your laptop and your kind of equipment, you're still going to be making music, even if no one bloody listens, because
Yeah,
you
and
can't not be anything
no.
but that, right?
And even if I didn't have anything, it's all in here. Like, and it's
Absolutely.
I write all day, man. Even when I'm at my gigs or at my job, I'm a little old school with it. I like the hand. I definitely believe there's some magic to the hand and mind coordination, and just with writing, and
Right.
I'll keep writing all day, man, all day. Melodies sometimes, and just sometimes I'll just create in here a whole song, and I'll be drained at the end of the day, like I should have recorded that whatever that whole composition was in.
Yeah.
It's yeah, man. No, of course.
No, I think you've mate. I think you're wicked. I just think you're super cool. I really like the way you think
Oh,
and the way you create. It's really cool.
oh man, thanks, man. Same
What is
here.
going on for Joe Aura at the moment? What's happening in the present for you now?
So I'm right now. I'm in the process of releasing a lot of the music, like from what I said earlier, that I had just spent a lot of time honing in and
Yeah.
and just building. So now that most of the things are finishing up in, like, the mixing and mastering stage, and I'm just pumping it out, and sometimes I'm putting some visuals to it just so make it a little more sense.
Yeah.
So I'm now in the process of releasing a lot of the work, within the hopes that if that's as far as it goes, man, that's beautiful. My whole point is to connect with the world, with people,
Mhm.
and like you said, it's just a rewarding experience, like when people reach out to you and say those wonderful things, because it's not exactly why I'm doing it, but like it's just like, oh wow, hold on a second, you felt that way too? Oh wait, hold on, it actually helped you, like, oh my god, like what I do matters,
Yeah.
all my experiences weren't pointless. So it's a that I feed off of that. It's wonderful, and hopefully one day, like anybody else, the goal would be to maybe hit a couple of cities, some stages,
Sweet.
and perform live. Man, I feel like the ultimate connection, is when you're performing in front of an audience, and there's a gathering to for the same reason. They're all there to for the same reason. And I'm not really trying to say like to go see you, but it's what you did that impacted their lives, and everyone's there for that reason or for different reasons, but at the same time, one reason, and singing back those lyrics, and just feeling that like oneness.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to hopefully one day, be able to grasp that experience, man,
That's
and
gonna happen,
just
mate.
feel like one with everybody, in that moment, and that's really what I feel is like, Like, man, I really hope that happens. Even if it's just one time. Even if it's just one time that it happens with what I'm doing
Just
now.
once would be a waste, mate. I
Yeah.
think it has to be.
I'd be forever grateful, you know?
Yeah, I don't think. I think once people start getting into your music and into your vibe, I just don't think it's going to be long for that to start happening. To be fair, mate.
Oh, man.
You know?
Thanks, man.
So, what would you say so far has been, apart from the Jaden Show, obviously, what has been the highlight of your career as an
The
artist in
highlight.
all the things that you've done?
Um, I guess there was a couple of points. Um, when I was younger, I was able to, I was, like I said, I was in some bands and we had little success points that we reached. Um, Performing in front of a big crowd. We opened up for Mudvayne, Non-Point, and I think the other band was In This Moment and Head PE. That was always something that I wanted to experience. You know, being on that type of stage and that feeling that energy and doing that. So that was like one point I from the top of my head. And but furthermore than that, like just connecting, man, with people. It's really what it is, and I think it's just a wonderful feeling when like you put out your music or covers or whatever it is that you do and you get those letters. You get those people saying, besides like, wow, you said this is amazing, it sounds so good, and the compliments are wonderful, but like when you really get those comments that or people that write to you privately saying, man, I was sitting in my bedroom and it was dark and I felt like no one could understand me and you helped me feel seen. And it's like, wow,
Yeah,
like, holy, really? Me? What I did? Or like you said, I was going through these experiences. I didn't know how to find my way out, and this song was kind of like a light that guided me through it. It's wonderful, man.
it's empowering and humbling all in the same breath.
It, it really is, man. It really is. And if that's enough for me and if I could just keep getting that, man, it's beautiful.
So, what are your future plans? I mean, what is happening on a brand, Joe, or a brand front? What are your future plans?
My future plans. Well, I'd like to I'd like to continue doing what I'm doing and hopefully maybe this would be what I could do full time, and focus on that without a lot of the pressures that come with that lifestyle,
Yeah,
So that's one thing that I like where I am now in life where I can do things at my pace. I can do things however I want, um, without the pressures of, like maybe labels or like, you got to go tour here and do that. Like that's the future I'm trying to build and go towards.
a nice, fluid, organic process.
Yeah, man.
Nothing else. From your lips
What
to
with
the Lord's or the Lordess's ears, mate. That would be really
Yeah, man. And and performing here and there, man, that's the goal.
fantastic. Music, new videos, everything.
Oh yeah,
Just continue
absolutely.
this process.
There's a lot coming out
Sweet.
with it for the next
Well,
while.
I'm a fan now, so I'll be expecting, mate. So, where are you on social media? Because obviously, people are crazy about you now. They're obviously going to want to follow you and support you.
Yeah.
So, where are
Um,
you?
I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and then also, on a lot of major platforms like Spotify, Apple Tunes, Apple iTunes, Amazon Music. Most of my using or my names on the things is Joe Aura Music.
Okay, I'm going to put that underneath the whole of this interview and on the title page to this episode as well. Joe Aura Music,
Hmm.
thank you so much for your time today and coming to spend time to chat with me.
Uh, it
Show.
was an honor. Thank you
It's
so
been
much, man.
amazing, mate. I think you're an absolute star. And when things like new singles come out, when you're supporting, I don't know, Meatloaf in the German beer fest or whatever it is in Germany, then come back on my show and let me know so we can promote it, right?
Oh, for sure, man. And don't forget, man, we got a tune to write.
Yeah, no, I've written it down, mate, and I'm
All
going to
right.
save that little bit of the video as well. Just I will send it to you every 6 months until it
Beautiful.
happens.
Let's do it, man.
All right, Joe Aura, thank you so much. You're an absolute legend, mate. Thank you
Oh,
so much
thank
for
you,
your time,
Jaden.
and we are in touch. I will see you again soon.
All right, brother. Thanks,
Take care,
man.
you. Bye bye,
See
man.
ya.
Bye. What an amazing show. How cool is Joe? Please go and follow him on his social media platforms and make sure you start downloading that phenomenal library of music that is now been uploaded pretty much as we speak onto his music download and streaming platforms as well. Go and check him out. Go and show that brother some love and support. And definitely, you do need to be his fan. I am now completely his fan, so you definitely need to be. So thank you so much for joining Joe and I today from wherever you have joined us, whether it be your living room, your phone, your car journey, your bedroom. Thank you for allowing us into your private sanctum. I cannot wait to introduce you to another wonderful person next week on the Jaden Show. But before I leave you, I think we need to go and listen to and see a little bit more of Joe before the end of the show. This is Further Away. This is Joe Aura. I will see you next week. Stay beautiful. Subscribe, like, share, comment, tell the world about Mr. Aura, please. Take care. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Maybe I found love, it found me back. I feel stuck. Maybe I fucked up. There's things on my mind that I just cannot hide. Or am I just blind? I'm looking, maybe not looking far enough. Looking, not looking far enough for what I want. I'm looking, not looking far enough. Not looking far enough. No lies remain unseen. Love found me, I feel a way about it. I'm still adjusting, I lost my compass. Barely with love, I can't function. I can't function, cockeyed, feeling hopeless. Maybe I should show love where I'm broken. It's hard to take control, don't just listen to speak. To remind, why do I do this to myself? Ask yourself who I am in the mirror. I used to think, why do I look for love in all the wrong places? Don't get involved with critical thinking. It's a different type of time. You caught my eye, I couldn't explain it. What goes around, comes around. That's why I fucking